Welcome to Hall Pass Sessions. This is your all-access Hall Pass to what the legends of the game are talking about. Legends from the Hall of Fame, the PBA, the PWBA, and the best that youth bowling has to offer. Hall Pass Sessions, complete with positive thoughts and a tip or two to help. And of course, legends to host. Now, here's Hall of Famers Carolyn Doran Ballard and Leanne Barrett Hulsenberg. This is Hall Pass Sessions.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It is CDB and we are back on Hall Pass. Everybody like my little jingle? I am the little elf bringing you some great entertainment tonight from our guest that will be joining us here in a few minutes. But first, let's bring in my partner in crime, Leanne Hulsenberg. Come on in there, Leanne. Oh, look at you go. You all light it up. I love
Trying
it.
to keep up with your festivity.
Nice glasses. Yeah, hey, wait, before we get started, wait, look. Okay, can you see my shirt though? Can you read it?
Most likely to shake the presents. Nice.
Yes, let me tell you why. So there's a little story behind me on that one. So my mother always said that when we were little, I was the one that would always get up in the middle of the night or while they were, friends would bring over gifts and I was always the one shaking the presents. And they knew the night before they had to wait super late to, for Santa to arrive in case there are children watching, because he arrives very late, because I would be sitting there waiting, peeking through the little banister, just waiting for his sleigh to arrive. So yes, it was fitting that someone gave me this shirt. So yeah, cute little story. The things you remember as a kid, Of course, you're going to hear my bell all night. Do you hear that?
Are you ready for Christmas?
Well, we're jingling in the new year and Christmas, huh? I actually think I am almost done shopping. I think I have like a couple of things to get, but not a lot. I could go out tomorrow and be done. And I already started wrapping. And my
Nice.
boxes are already shipped out. So that's a good thing. How about you?
Pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Got
Okay.
a little ahead of things this year and
Okay.
pretty close. Yeah.
That's a good thing. I like being out in the hustle and bustle. I like it. It gives a little Christmas spirit.
Yeah, part of the, yeah, exactly.
It is, because here it doesn't snow. It gets a little cold, obviously. So listening to the music and being in the crowd kind of gets me, gives me that like, oh, this is Christmas. Everybody's out and about and, just waiting for a parking spot and things like that. So I like it. Anyway, it's been a few weeks, Leanne. It's been a few weeks, but we are back.
We are.
And you have something very much in common with tonight's guest. So our guest has 6 PWBA titles, one of which is a major, the U.S. Open. So that's why I said, see, you have something in common, Leanne. Member of Team USA, 10 years for adult, 2 for youth. And she was Player of the Year in 2021. Before we even look at this special guest, Bryanna Cote, if you don't mind, let's bring on Bryanna Cote. Hey, Bryanna, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys?
Cool. Now, but I made them take that screen off, but yes, recently, we'll just jump right into that one because we'll bring that screen back on. Bryanna and the women's Team USA adult brought home the gold medal. So now feel free to bring that screen back.
Thank you.
And let's
I can't be over my dog.
Maybe not. Blair might have said, "Too bad, Carolyn. You had a chance to look at it or not." There we are. There's your stats, Brianna.
Yay.
Winning just recently. I think. What did you get back on Saturday? Just
Saturday,
recently, didn't
yes.
you? Or
So I've been home
Saturday?
just over a week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit about that experience out in Hong Kong, one of my favorite cities.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually fortunate enough to go back to Hong Kong because we were there in January for the World Cup. So the World Cup was there, which is actually supposed to
Mhm.
be in November of 24, but the bowling center wasn't completed yet, so which is why it was moved to January. So I was fortunate enough to compete there. There was four ladies that competed there for the same, myself, Lauren Russo, Jillian Martin, and Shannon Pulowski, which we were fortunate enough to win the World Cup in January. And so we were selected to come back this November/December for the World Championships, which it was actually my first World Championships participating. I've done 3 World Cups, um, but this was the first, I'm sorry, 2 World Cups, but this was the first time that it was a World Championship. So we had 6 ladies, singles, doubles, trios, team. The kicker is everything was Baker besides singles. So, and every qualifying was 7 Baker games. So very quick. You need to make sure you and your teammates are on the same page. You have a lay of the land as far as how the lanes are playing, filling frames, because it goes by super, super fast. And we really utilized everything we learned in singles, doubles, and trios to really apply to team events. And we're strategic as far as lineups and where to put people and how people were playing the lanes. And it really just all came together when we made the medal round. We actually had to do a roll off to get into the medal round. There was 4
Oh my
teams for
gosh.
spots, so it was very nerve wracking. But we did it. We made some great shots when we needed to. We came together as a team, and then when we went to the stadium, the Queen Elizabeth Stadium for the medal rounds, even though I had already been there, it's still pretty overwhelming to see a stadium setting, 2 lanes. You only get 10 minutes of practice, just like you would for league with 6 players. And, you're trying to make your best lineup, see who has the best look. Unfortunately, we made all the right choices. Sometimes we thought things weren't going to go our way, but we just didn't give up. And we were very resilient in the fact that we went to 3 games for every match, but we came out on top and made the shots when we needed to. So it was a pretty cool experience.
I think that's awesome. Leanne, I know again you won the U.S. Open in a huge setting, being in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Brianna just in the stadium out in Hong Kong. To you, what is the difference between the stadium setting and being inside, the bowling center? What's the first thing that really comes to mind that you have to get used to?
For me, I would say
Oh, I said to
less.
Leanne first, but that's
Oh,
okay. It
okay.
doesn't matter. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. No,
No,
it's
you're
probably
fine.
similar to what Bree would say, but it's just it's overwhelming, right? Because it's not a bowling center and it's just a totally different setting. And you really just have to find something to focus on and not focus on the setting, obviously, so
Right.
just focus on something a little more internal instead of all the external differences.
Brianna, what was the one thing that you told your teammates since you had been there already? What was the one thing you told your teammates?
You know, Kind of along the same lines of what had happened in January, our main focal point was just execute. Um, Everything else we can't control. We can't control if we strike. We can't control what the other teams are doing. The one thing that we can control is our execution. And so that was basically what we would tell each other, tell ourselves, just execute. As long as we did that, I mean, as we're the best in the world, and if we execute, usually 9 times out of 10 things are going to go our way, and we're going to knock them down. And so I think that was the focal point for all of us is when we got there, kind of just take it in. It's going to be a setting you're not used to, but at the end of the day, it's still bowling. We're still trying to knock down 10 pins and
Okay.
just execute.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. Leanne, by all means, jump in because I do have 2 questions. My first one is I watched a little bit of both the men's and the women's. Um, so I don't know how this is going to come out. So I hope it comes out the right way. Team USA on both sides used to be dominant in the fact of a lot of the tournaments we led or were in the top three at least in each category. And I've noticed over the last few world championships and world cups and the other events, it seems to teeter up and down. So I have a twofold question for you on that. Do you think other countries have caught up, or because we were the ones that everybody chased?
Mhm.
So do you think they've caught up with, knowledge, coaching, technology? And do you see more two-handers, especially for the women, coming onto the scene?
That those are two great questions. And honestly, like I would say, to me, bowling is always evolving. So I do think countries have, you know, the playing field is leveled a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. There's a lot more resources out there for these younger generations to get better at bowling, learn more than, what maybe I had access to, or even the generations before me on how to improve bowling. There's just so many more outlets for them to get more knowledge and just become better quicker, in my opinion.
Right.
And I do think that the formats that they are using now makes the playing field a little bit more equal, because the format's hard. You go in for just Baker straight away, and you could have two bowlers, pocket 710, pocket 710, open, and you could have them running away Brooklyn, like, Baker. You've seen college bowling. It can be a roller coaster at any given moment. The momentum shifts so fast. And so I think going to the Baker format also brings all of us closer together as far as keeping us on a more level playing field. Doesn't necessarily, I mean, we still probably have, in my opinion, the stronger team. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but because of the format, it makes it much harder. And as far as the two-handed goes, there are more women. It's not mostly on the European side that were two-handed. The men definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a given. You can see that even here in the States at junior gold. But definitely some European teams have more two-handers, and Nora from Sweden, but even the Czech Republic girls had most of their team was two-handed. And you could tell some of them may have just started it, but like that's what they're doing. That's what they're teaching. They're teaching the two-handed style. So yeah, it is starting to get there. For the women, just may take a little bit longer than the men.
Right. Leah, what are your thoughts on the format? Because I know we've talked before in the past, and when we bowl Team USA, longer formats, full games. What are your thoughts on longer formats, shorter formats?
I'm a traditional old person, and I like long formats with lots of games. So I probably would not have enjoyed. Although Baker is a lot of fun, I don't mean I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Baker is fun; it brings you together, but I don't necessarily think it awards the best bowlers.
I tend to agree
Not to
with
say
that. The
that.
shorter format,
I mean,
yeah, I agree with
Team
that.
USA won, and I think they're the best
Right.
bowlers, but I'm just saying it makes it more competitive, and I don't know if that was their goal, but this is the
Hmm.
world championship. So I don't think that it should be a fun format. It should be a traditional format. So just my opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
What was
I'm
the
I'm the same way. I like more games, but
that what I was gonna yeah, but I was gonna ask that. What honestly, it probably plays to the strength of Team USA because we're used to longer formats,
I
and
mean,
we don't
definitely.
bowl a lot of Baker.
No, we
Mhm.
don't. And I think, I will say at Team USA camp this year, we practiced a lot of Baker with the girls that were going, just to kind of get ourselves prepared, try to learn each other, just kind of see, what works, what doesn't, what can we do better, what quirks are from everybody. So, full games are always going to be our strength as a team, but we also, if it's going to Baker, have to learn how to still be as strong in that format.
Interesting. Well, Leanne, you had your hand raised.
I did. For those of the people watching who may not have known who Team USA beat, who did you beat and who were some of your toughest competitors in the other events? What countries were, successful?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, so for actually for singles, doubles, and trios, Finland females won gold in all three. Um, I don't remember the lefty's name, but the lefty won singles, doubles, and trios, and then she bowled with Pepe, who is goes out on the PWBA tour as well, and then Ani was on the trios team. So familiar with a couple of those women who I bowled on tour with, and then as far as making it to the medal rounds, our roll off, Malaysia was the automatic in because they had the most points. So it's all match play when you make it. You bowl one game, Baker, get 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie, 0 for a loss. Most points at the end of the match play round advances. Malaysia had automatically won because they had the most points. And then there was a 3-way tie or 4-way tie between us, Singapore, Japan, and Korea.
Okay.
All very good teams. All have been at the top of the game for so long. And the 3 that advanced was us, Japan, and Korea. So Singapore actually missed the medal round. And so for the first semifinal match, we bowled against Korea, and they came out shooting 250 against us, and we shot 230, and these scores were not thrown very much. Usually like 2 teens, 220 maybe. They were on the lower scoring pace. And so we were like, okay, we really kind of got to get some stuff together. And then they saw transition when they moved from the lane that they started on, obviously. And we were fortunate enough to beat them in the next 2 games. And the other semifinal match was Malaysia and Japan. And Malaysia had beaten Japan pretty easily 2-0. So we bowled against Malaysia, which Malaysia has some great players. You have Sinley Jane, you have Natasha Roslin, Nora, I can't ever say her last name, but they have a great team. We actually competed against them in January for the World Cup. So it was like a rematch, essentially, but with a couple more players. And again, they won the first game, and we came back and won the next 2. I will say the second game, it didn't look like we were going to come back, but we threw a late turkey, and they had some misses, and we were able to push it to the final game. And we won the final game by making shots, picking up our spares, and staying clean. So it was pretty
The way
cool.
you're supposed to do it in Baker, right?
That's right. Fill your
Throw
frame.
a double or
And if you
triple.
don't strike, just fill your frame.
Fill your frame. I love it. You heard it here from one of the best on the PWBA tour. Okay, so I have some other stats, and I know Leanne will have some comments about this as well, which I find amazing. So I'm a huge consistency fan, right? Like I love it. Like you just said, if you're not striking, fill frames. I believe there are certain things in bowling that kind of still stand the test of time.
Mhm.
So what I find amazing is in points, after this past season, you're 5th, earnings 10th, top 12, you had 2. But the stat that I love the best is you're tied for first in cashes with Jordan,
Yes.
which tells me you are one of the most consistent bowlers out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's hard to catch every week.
I do. I'm looking at that and I'm going 5, 10th in earnings, second with top 12 appearances, and first in cashes. So I'd like you to elaborate a little bit on that. Although I'm sure you wanted to make more money, who doesn't? But with being so consistent, can you give me 2 key factors that really kept you going all year and kept you in the hunt?
Patience. Patience is a big one, and patience is something that you have to learn. Honestly, you have to go through the bad times You have to learn it. Learning to be patient, learning to, just because everyone's striking around you and you're not, like, they aren't out to get you. Like, you just have to be patient out here. I will say there was a lot of events where it was more high scoring. And so you just kind of have to be patient with yourself. You're going to catch a good pair. You're going to hit the pocket. So patience is definitely something that has carried me through the last few years on being consistent week in and week out. Don't panic. Let patience take over. And then the second thing that I will always give credit to is my spare game. I every time I practice, I don't reset spares. I shoot them. So I'm constant, like, if what spares have made cuts for me, spares have won me major championships. So I will never not practice spares.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it
I
was
love
a
it.
funny moment is, when I won the U.S. Open, I spared the 3-6-10, not conventionally. We know that it should not have spared. So there was some other people, and I always say it was my grandfather looking out for me and knocked those pins down. But in Hong Kong, I left the 3-6-10 again in the ninth frame of the final game. And I was like, okay. And this time
Here we go again.
covered all three pins with the ball. I made it correctly. And so, but there's things like that just pop up, and, you just have to handle yourself and, again, just execute and know that, like, all the training and you've done it before. And so it's like, I told myself, all right, I've done this before. And I told them when I got back, I said, guys, I touched all three pins with the ball. And so they were like, good. And so those are the two things, patience and spares for sure.
Oh, I love it. I really do. That's fantastic. Hey, Leanne, I have a question for you because I'm full of questions tonight. But before I ask you, Blair, do we have a commercial? I think we have. Is it the next? What do we got going?
Yep, we have the next factor.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's look at that commercial coming out this Friday. Okay, release date Friday, correct? Am I right on that one, Leanne?
You are, yeah,
Right.
this
I am.
Friday.
Awesome. Okay, Leanne, I have a question for you. Patience and sparing for Bryanna. What were two of your key factors when you were competing that made you so good?
I think I had a lot of patience because I kind of punished myself. I was a slow starter, so I had to have patience. I couldn't, like, just get frustrated with myself. Historically, I was not a big first gamer. It took me a while to fall into it. So I developed a lot of patience. So I totally agree with her. And then when I had it, I kind of made the most of it. So I was famous for some big blocks, got things together. But what I think is probably benefiting Bree is her consistency. It helps because if you're cashing, you have very few opportunities out there to bowl. They have 10 or 12 events. And if you don't cash in the first event, then you go into the second event as a negative with the extra pressure financially even, and so being able to cash every week will keep her in a good mental state of mind. And I think that's important. Like, you don't always want to look for the win. You want to look for some consistency and then make the most of it when you do have it. So she's mature enough. There's a lot of young girls out there who probably have the highs and lows, and Bree's been out there since the beginning, and she probably has more patience than most people. So good job, Bree.
I like that. That's true too. I mean, the highs and lows are tough when you're limited on
Yeah.
how many opportunities you have. And it's
Yep.
true. It's a natural thing to put pressure on yourself. So if you're not bowling
Mhm.
good the first couple of weeks, you're like, oh my God, the season's halfway
Got it.
over. I mean, like what's
Yeah.
happening here, you know?
You
So
don't need that.
I agree with you both, but Leanne did not say she was a good spare shooter, and Leanne was a very good spare shooter. So I don't know why she didn't put that in there as well. I
Yeah.
watched it.
I'm
I
also
wasn't
a
But
good
always a good
starter,
spare
so
shooter.
I get it.
I wasn't
oh,
always. I became a
yeah,
good one when I learned that it was very important. So I wasn't always.
Yeah.
okay. Well, in the clutch times, you were, but
Maybe.
but okay. Here's one question, Brianna. Before we let you go, here's a question from our little audience here. Rick's always got a question. I love him. It's a good question though. In a match on the fresh, you have a great line. If you start a match and you obviously what he means is you're bowling on the fresh, you're lined up bowling great. What happens when you start to see that transition and you struggle a little bit? How do you get back to where you need to be, whether it's on the lane or mentally?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I mean it there's so many factors that are kind of coming into play at the fresh. Is it is my ball burning up? Like do I just need to move left with it? And so I'm kind of the person that first I will try to adjust with whatever ball I'm throwing. And just try to still hit the pocket and give that a few shots. But I'm also the type of player that I've learned throughout the years that I will take a risk. And if I need to say, where I'm at is just not working, I need to jump 2 zones to the left because that's where we got to go. And that's where we got to go with a different ball. So I think it is very situational. It's hard to pinpoint like what the exact thing will be on what you're bowling on. So I think you have to really know your game. Let your ball be your guide. Let the pins be your
Oh,
guide.
I like
Like
that.
what you're leading, what your ball's doing, going through the pins is a lot of information. So like if I'm plaque tenning constantly, I hate to say it, I've 8-10, the ball's probably burning up. So we probably need to figure out something else, a cleaner ball, get away from that area. Or maybe just where I'm at, like who's bowling around me? Like, what am I following? Was there a high rev player? Was there urethane?
Sure.
Was like there's so many factors that I can't just say this is what you do. So I think you just have to kind of be aware of what's going around you without really focusing on what is going around you and trying to worry about what they're doing. It's more just being aware of what is going on in the center and what people are doing to try to make your look go away. If you're right of everybody and everyone's left of you, they're going to start pushing stuff towards you. So that's maybe why you kind of got to get away, or maybe you just need a different ball to help combat that. So again, a lot of different factors that can um, make you decide which way to go. But again, the
Okay.
awareness of what's happening around you.
I love it. That's some great advice right there. Be aware of your surroundings and what you're trying to do, or maybe what you shouldn't be trying to do.
Mhm.
One or
Yeah,
the other, right?
definitely. Yeah.
Leanne, anything else for our wonderful guest this evening?
Yeah, let's get off topic of the bowling. And what's one thing fun that you did while you were in Hong Kong?
We went to Disneyland. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, we did go in January. We went again, and we had a good time. I think my favorite part was me and Shannon Pulowski's daughter, Autumn, she's now 12. She's like a teenager. She's not 12. She's like a teenager. So
Right.
it was me, Autumn, Lauren Russo, and Kayla Bandy, who is now our team manager. We went to the teacups, and
Oh,
Autumn went crazy on the teacups and spun it really fast. And Kayla and Lauren were hanging on for dear life. But it was a lot of fun, to be there and just have fun and not think about bowling. Just have fun with each other and have a good time before all the stress started.
I like it. It's nice to be
Yeah,
a kid again, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Don't know
love
how
it.
we fit in a teacup, but we did.
that's
Okay. All right, wait. And before you go,
Mhm.
one thing you'd like to find underneath the Christmas tree. And we know health, happiness, world
Yeah,
peace.
all the normal
We know all
things.
that.
I
But
mean, honestly, the one
if you
thing
could
that like I
consider,
always want are gift cards because they're so
oh, okay,
beneficial on tour. Like, so when
okay,
I get gift cards, like I keep them and then I use them on tour. So like, help combat the expenses.
so
That's true.
smart, right
Save
there.
them.
Yeah,
Save them for May.
that's right.
Absolutely. Excellent. Oh, Bryanna, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're such a
Pleasure.
gem. You really are. You're one of my
No,
favorites. Love watching you bowl. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Awesome.
And
Thank you for
have
having
a
me.
great holiday
yeah.
and
Merry
best of
Christmas
luck
to you and
next.
Randy.
Yes.
Thank
And
you. Happy holidays.
have a wonderful year on the tour. And I'm sure we'll talk to you again after you
Sounds
win.
great. Okay, perfect.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, I love her. That's great. I just love it.
It's a good role model.
Um,
Yep.
yes, so much. Okay, so Leanne, I did some research here. So I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but we're not going to go through them all, but I was looking at the USBC High Average, High Series Awards. 246, 253 for averages, 900 for the high series, youth 890, just to name a few numbers. And we got some names up there we all are familiar with: Caitlin Stoll, Liz Culkin, Sakura Floyd, Jake Washington, 900, Desron Witherspoon. So my question is, I'm reading these numbers. First of all, I can barely get 66 games in. Like, that's never happening probably in league. I'm never getting 66 games in. But have you ever averaged 250 in league?
Negative.
Negative on my end too. I think my best year that I can remember recently where I actually had some games in, maybe 232, but I had a lot of games in. Like, I was bowling a lot of league. Other than that, I'm 220 at best. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever averaged 230 in league, but I don't know that I have bowled very many competitive leagues, because we were gone a lot and
Mhm.
stuff. So when I did bowl, yeah, I was a part-timer for the most part,
Mhm.
and I was bowling with some friends. So I was just kind of social bowling, wasn't really
Right.
competitive bowling. Um, yeah, so I don't know. But even no matter what you're bowling on, if you're bowling on the Great Wall of China, you still have to bowl good. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
do.
people will, negative comments about, oh, they must be
Right.
bowling on a wall every week. It doesn't
Right.
matter. That's every week that you're bowling 720 to average 240. That's pretty
Well, it's
impressive.
just you still have to hit the pocket and knock them down.
Right. And you still
So
have to
are
feel
you,
good. Like,
uh,
like,
but I look at these scores, I'm going 248, 837. I'm barely pumping 670 in league sometimes, let
right,
alone get to 720, 740. So
right.
we've got some great bowlers out there and again, these names, Liz Culkin, Caitlin Stoll, Jake Washington, Ryan Campbell, Desron Witherspoon, Jordan I mean, they're good bowlers.
I think
And a lot
the
Go
Ryan
ahead.
Campbell, was he the youth bowler?
He is the youth bowler,
He just
248
bowled
he averaged.
he just bowled 870 the other night with his Equinox Solid.
Yes, he
870.
did. Yeah, 870. So he's got a little ways to go to get to 900, if that's going to win, but 870. Think about that.
Yeah.
Would you miss 3 times? Twice?
Twice
I
at the
mean,
most, probably.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Maybe
Yeah.
just once.
And again, a lot of Cheektowaga, New York, Maryland, Schenectady. I mean, a lot of New York, Georgia, all over. And Desron was the 40th 900. I had no idea there were that many.
Yeah, when that happened, there was one recently, just like
Yes.
3 weeks ago, and I was like, I can't believe there's been four. Oh, out in California, Andrew Granite bowled 300 in Sacramento, and it was like 41 900s, and I was like,
Yeah.
I must have missed 20 of them or something.
No, but yeah,
That's a
first of
lot.
all, I can't even imagine it.
Yep.
Honestly, I really
Yep.
can't.
Yep.
Um, my normal game in league, 4 bagger, 9 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare, double,
Yeah.
218, 220.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't
Again,
matter if the lanes are walled up and there's a really good shot, 300, good. But to have 300s
yep,
is no easy feat. It's
I
very
agree.
impressive. So,
Well, as we wrap up here, Leanne, what's one thing you want to see under your tree besides all the other great things that we know about health, happiness, and world peace?
I need a new pair of walk-in sneakers. I've walked out my sneakers,
Oh,
so I do need a new pair of adrenalines. That's my sneaker of
oh,
choice.
that
And
is your sneaker of choice. I'll have to check those out.
I think my family
Okay.
calls me Forrest Gump because I'm always out there on the streets walking. So I think I'm pretty confident I'm getting a new pair of sneakers.
I
What
love
about
it.
you?
I love it.
What about you?
Um, well, I think this year I'm going to possibly pull the trigger a pair of cowboy boots.
I want to see you in them.
I know. I don't know what it is, but there's, and by the way, let's clarify this first. They're not going to be them honking big old ones that go over my knee and up. I'll be wearing these with jeans, that type. But I'm thinking that they're moving up the list from down here to up here. I think
Nice.
so. Something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And it's something I wouldn't buy myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm going to tell them what size but it's not something I would say, gosh, you know what? That's what I want. But I'm really thinking that I think it's a time for one pair of cowboy boots living in Texas. What's your
Now,
thoughts?
do you think Alyssa will be making that purchase, or Dell, or Santa, or a little bit of all three of them?
I think all three of them, I think they're going to talk to Santa a little bit and tell him what I like, talk to the elves and see if they can muster up, where that needs to take place. But I think it's going to be a little bit of everybody. Yeah.
Um, my other, just to tell you, you and our people watching, what a dork I am, and what a simple homebody I am. I need a new broccoli steamer. My steamer is broke.
Okay.
It's water all over. So that is also on my list. So I can continue trying to eat healthy and not make a mess in my kitchen. So, exciting
I
things: running shoes and a broccoli steamer.
I think you're going to get the broccoli steamer because you do like to cook a lot and you do eat healthy all the time.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing. That is a very good thing. I love it. Who's on our show in 2 weeks, right after Christmas? Is it Matt McNeil?
Yeah, you were
Or
gonna do
I
the
forgot.
wrap
I
up from the big storm cup in Korea going on right now.
Yes,
Matt's over
yes,
there
yes,
with
yes.
a bunch of our staffers and
Hmm.
beautiful new bowling center. I think it's only a couple years old. Barbara Chrisman was over there. Tyler Jensen is over there. So we have a big crew over there. So Matt will give us a good recap in 2 weeks. I think they come home before Christmas, so we'll give him
Yep.
time to get acclimated.
Yes.
So he'll give us a
And I
good.
know yeah, and I know he's looking forward to it because he sent me a text and he said, "Oh, yeah, that would be good." I said, "Well, we're going to have a bunch of questions for you, especially the recap and maybe what's his travels going to look like going over to Europe now that he's the salesperson kind of
Yeah,
over there, the representative. So
maybe we can
let's find let's
con
find
him
out what he
in.
does.
Maybe we can all share a glass of champagne and toast in the new year.
I would absolutely love it. Okay, so our look for 2 weeks is New Year's Eve, right?
Yep.
Okay, I got to remember that. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight, Leanne. Always good to see you. It's been a while,
You too, my
and I
friend.
hope I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday, no matter how you celebrate. I hope you get to enjoy it with family and friends, and just enjoy the time, relax, and be aware of your surroundings and
Yes,
enjoy it.
don't stress, enjoy, and soak it all in, and take some time with the people you love.
Absolutely. See you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy, everybody. Thanks for joining us.